Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. The Journey into Nyx pre-release is right around the corner. Don't worry though, we got your back. We'll quickly go over what you'll be getting at the event, and then we'll focus on color choice, which I know is what all of you want to see. Get pumped! This pre-release is sealed, which means you're given a specific amount of sealed product that you must construct a deck with. No drafting, no trading, no pre-construction, nothing. You get what you get and you have to make the best of it. Each player will receive a pre-release kit containing your cards. Here's what you'll get in these packs. 2 Journey into Nyx booster packs, 1 Born of the Gods booster pack, 2 Theros boosters, 1 seeded pack, 1 promo card, 1 spin down die, a welcome letter, a hero card, and a Forge a Godslayer activity card. When you sign up for the pre-release, you pick a color. That color decides what kind of box you get. Your promo will be the promo of the color you picked, along with the seeded pack. In these packs, there's a bias towards the color you chose when you signed up. Now that that's out of the way, let's break down these colors. Remember that we're not only dealing with Journey into Nyx here. We have to take the entire Theros block into account when deciding which color is best. Also, and seriously, keep this in mind, I will not be talking about the rares from each color. Instead, I'm going to focus on cards you have a much higher chance of getting, the uncommons and commons. Keep that in mind, seriously. Don't be asking me why I didn't mention Primas, just do not. Let's start off with white. The promo Dawnbringer Charioteers is pretty strong. It has evasion, high toughness, and comes with a very relevant ability and lifelink. It's one of those creatures that require a removal spell immediately or the game quickly gets out of hand. Plus it's pretty affordable at 4 mana. Promos are usually gigantic late game bomb creatures. This is very much a mid game powerhouse. If you remember back to Theros, white creatures were very strong. Hopeful Eidolon and Wingsteed Rider led a powerful creature package that made taking white in Theros draft pretty easy. You also have powerful heroic enablers like Dauntless Onslaught and Observant Alseid to push through damage quickly. One of the aspects of white worth highlighting is the crazy amount of good removal it has access to. From Banishing Light and Reprisal in Journey into Nyx, to Excoriate and Revoke Existence in Born of the Gods, to Divine Verdict in Theros. Even pseudo-removal is deep, with Oppressive Raise and Armament of Nyx coming out of Journey. White seems like an extremely strong color for the pre-release. There are plenty of quality creatures, removal, and combat tricks to play with. It's pretty formidable. Next up is blue. Scourge of Fleets is by no means the most impressive of the promo cards. He's 7 mana for a 6/6, which is pretty standard as far as Krakens go. The ability on him does pretty much win the game by itself. Even if you're playing 2 colors, you'll have enough islands to unsummon pretty much everything they have. If you don't, you're probably already dead. Blue was a strong color in triple Theros draft. You had some bomby creatures like Horizon Scholar and Prescient Chimera. Blue also had access to cheap, effective creatures like Omen Speaker and Vaporkin. Where blue really shined though was with control. Griptide, Sea God's Revenge, Triton Tactics, Voyage's End. There were a ton of powerful spells. Born of the Gods brought control in the form of creatures, with Siren of the Fang Coast and Vortex Elemental. Journey into Nyx does bring Hubris, which is a nice addition to the limited format, but it's hard to really take a lot else out of it. I really like Hour of Need and Kiora's Dismissal in the right decks, but you have to make that work. This is tough because the blue cards from Theros and Born of the Gods were very strong. While Journey into Nyx is definitely weaker than the past 2 sets as far as blue is concerned, that doesn't mean you could just write off the potential power of the 3 non-Journey into Nyx packs. Moving right along, we have black. Doomwake Giant is our promo, and he's pretty much the man. He's fairly costed at 5 mana for a 4/6. His ability is pretty easily triggered and super powerful. Giving your opponent's whole team -1/-1 over and over again will take a toll, especially during combat. Even casting 2 enchantments in 1 turn could lead to a board wipe. This is one of the strongest promos for sure. It seems with Journey that black is moving towards a more control-oriented strategy with all the removal and various disruption spells. With that said, it does bring some interesting utility creatures like Brain Magnet and Thoughrender Lamia. Both are quite good and do a lot for their cost. Other black creatures in this block you might have forgotten about, Baleful Eidolon, Archetype of Finality, Shrike Harpy. All these are certainly playable. They all provide insane value for what you pay. It's very control-like. Black is the color of removal, more so now than ever. There's a ton of ways to deal with creatures in this color from Journey into Nyx alone. Cast into Darkness, Feast of Dreams, Nightmarish End, Nyx Infusion, and Spiteful Blow are all available to use and pretty decent. Let's look at removal from the last two sets. Lash of the Whip, Pharika's Cure, Sip of Hemlock, Viper's Kiss, Asphyxiate, Bioblade, Drown in Sorrow, Eye Gouge, Weight of the Underworld. You get it, right? If you want to play removal heavy deck, pick the black box. You might not be able to win for a while, but hey, neither will your opponent. We're up to red, and you know what that means. A dragon promo. Spawn of Thraxus is a good card. Sure, it's 7 mana for a 5/5 flyer, but the ability is really powerful. 7 mana for a huge dragon and a removal spell seems pretty good. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan of drafting red as a primary color previous to this pre-release. Sure, there were really powerful spells like Lightning Strike, Magma Jet, Spearpoint Oriat, and Stone Shock Giant. Even Born of the Gods brought Bolt of Keranos, Fall of the Hammer, Faragax Giant, Searing Blood, and Thunder Brute. But even then, I felt like it was a much better support color than a primary one. Journey into Nyx does change my opinion on the color a bit. It brings cool creatures like Forgeborn Oread, Sigiled Skink, and Wildfire Cerberus. While these creatures are really cool, I'm more impressed with the spells. Blinding Flare is a great combat trick to either hinder your opponent or trigger a heroic on your own creatures. Flurry of Horns is a wonderfully aggressive card thanks to the haste it grants your cows. You've got Magma Spray, Riddle of Lightning, and Starfall as possible removal spells, but my favorite card has got to be Lightning Diadem. This thing is a super bomb. It's only a common, which is good. I can see myself running a pair of these if I got them. There's just so much upside. All in all, Journey into Nyx did a great job of supplementing red's power in the sealed format. If I play red, it'll probably be as a second color, but that's only because I don't play red very often. This is a decent choice for your pre-release. Last, but certainly not least, we have green. Hero's Bane is just plain awesome. If he survives long enough for you to untap and activate his ability, your opponent's either dead or blocking with whatever's on the field, hoping to stay alive because your Hydra's gigantic. This is just a really all-around good creature, and at 5 mana, you can't go wrong. I could honestly go on forever talking about the playable green cards from Journey into Nyx, from Basara Tower Archer to Goldenhide Ox, and from Humbler of Mortals to Ferrisband Thunderhoof. They're just good cards in green. It also brings with it awesome spells like Colossal Heroics and Consign to Dust. Going back a few sets, you can't forget about the likes of Centaur Battlemaster, Voyaging Satyr, even Vulpine Goliath was decent. On the spell front, Feral Invocation was pretty cheeky. Also, Savage Surge, Time to Feed, Aspect of Hydra, Unravel the Aether. The point is that there are a ton of playables in green. If you're looking for a color that can go really deep with decent quality, green seems to be the safest choice. Now that we've gone over all the colors, I'll summarize where I ended up with each of them. White has quality creatures, removal, and combat tricks. Its power seems to be distributed between Theros and Journey into Nyx, with Born of the Gods not getting too much. That's okay though, since you only get one Born of the Gods pack anyways. This is definitely a solid choice as a primary color for the pre-release. You have my blessing. Not that you needed it, or wanted it. I feel sad now. Blue is tricky. Journey into Nyx didn't do it a lot of favors, but the color is strong in Theros and decent in Born of the Gods. As a blue player myself, I think blue might be better as a support color than a primary one. It has good cards, don't get me wrong. The depth is what scares me. Since half of your pre-release pool is from Journey into Nyx, you have to take that into account. You can absolutely choose to play blue and do completely fine, but the packs are going to have to really open your way to get the depth you need. All in all, it's a great support color no matter how you look at it. Black is just crazy. The amount of removal in this entire block practically guarantees you'll open a bunch of it whether you want to or not. The creatures are lacking a bit in power, but the color is meant to be played in a very control-y fashion. Sure, there are aggressive creatures, but the tone of the color is definitely kill creatures first, win later. With that said, black is a great primary color. You pick this pre-release pack if you want to play that kind of control type strategy. You'll probably end up pairing this with a color that can apply pressure early for you to actually win the game eventually. Or you could do what I might do and force straight blue-black control that goes to time game 1 of every round. I'm kind of the worst. Black is just really powerful. No one would question you for picking it. Red is another tough color to analyze. The removal's decent, the creatures are decent, the combat tricks are decent, the color is just solid. I think that's why I would put this as a good support color. The kind of aggressive strategies that red players want to run are really hard to pull off in sealed when compared to draft. Most likely you'll end up with a slower deck than you want. This is why red makes a great support color. You can play your good removal spells and high value creatures while also adding in a color with a little more depth as far as playables are concerned. If you're dead set on picking red, go right ahead. I don't blame you. The color is strong, it's just a little riskier than some of the others. Green is very similar to white in that there are a lot of playables. The difference is that these playables are spread across all 3 sets rather than just 2. Green has had a solid run of good limited cards in this block. If you're looking for the most consistent color that'll guarantee you the most playables, green looks really good to fill that role. Most of the creatures are decent. The removal is fairly costed and relevant, and the combat tricks are powerful. This is definitely on par with white and black as far as depth and playability. What this all comes down to is that you should play what you want. If you're a comfortable blue or red player, by all means pick those colors. They can win. For all of you that don't have an attachment to any particular color, I would suggest picking either black, green, or white. At that point, it's preference. They're all just so good. I hope this guide helped you at least a little bit in deciding what color to play at the pre-release this weekend. If you're still having trouble, comment below and I'll choose for you. Person by person. Seriously, I'll do that. Remember to subscribe below for the latest and most reliable Journey into Nyx spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Manosaurus, I'm Wedge, thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.